Hello everybody, today I'm here to share my experience with you, which I earned over the years that I've been doing photography or videography. I want to tell you what camera gonna be much more practical for you if you want to just choose one camera in this year 2024. So here I am with my suggestion. Started my job in 2012 with Canon 5D Mark III and I really liked it. After that I changed many different gears, and we know that technology is always in front of us, which we can't catch it, and always we're gonna have something new, much more expensive, so we don't have to get involved with this technology or with that trick or the game. Right now I have three different sets. I have Canon R5, which is for 2020. I have my Sony a6700, which is for 2023, and I have my Fuji X-H2S, which is for 2022. For my job, for what I'm doing, I needed these three sets, and I'm here to share my experience with you regarding these three different sets or maybe brands, which are gonna be helpful for you. Some of my friends ask me, why do you keep different kind of sets or different brands? And if I want to pack and go for a job, for a project, that which one gonna be much more practical for me to choose among these sets that I've got? Well, for me, considering the technical issue or the price issue or the different lenses, variation of the lenses, or if I want to talk about the accessories, each of these cameras or the gears got some advantages or disadvantages. Well, I'm going to share it with you, and actually I'm a very new in this market, and also I want your suggestion. You also tell me which one gonna be much more practical for me after I tell you about all my experience about these three different sets. There are many different elements for a photographer to choose a gear or to buy a gear, but there are only very certain and important ones like image quality, variation of the lenses, or price issue, or how easy it is to work in videography, in photography, or in post-production. So which I'm gonna focus on these elements right now. Later in the videos, I'm gonna tell you about the other elements as well, but today we're gonna go and check these three sets that I've got with these elements. First of all, I'm gonna start with one of the best camera in the market, which is Canon R5. It is released in 2020, and everybody, I think those days were waiting, expecting this camera. This camera got a 45 megapixel, and with the new update, which is the pixel shift, you can even increase it to 400 megapixel. That's the wow. There are a lot of advantages about this camera. It supports 8K and 4K with 60 frames without any crop, so that's amazing. And it has the IBIS internal stabilizer, which helps you a lot in photography or videography. If I want to talk about the image quality, especially combination with the RF lenses, then I can say that's the great touch. That's gonna be a great pack for you if your priority is in photography. For me, this is the very professional camera if I want to keep it or use it. Considering the price, I can say this is among the expensive actually camera. It costs something around $3,300 right now in the market, but it is worth to have it because it's so professional. And of course, there are some disadvantages about it, which I'm gonna tell you. For me, after 3 years working with this camera, I found only three different very main and important problems with it, which I can call them kind of a disadvantages. Overheating after 40 minutes in videography, which with the new update I think is better right now, but it still is not very completely done. So that's the overheating first. That is my main concern with it. The other thing, if you want to record your videos in 10-bit format for 2.2, then you have to go with the select. When you go with the select, then with post-production, with editing in some kind of programs like Premiere, you're gonna face with a lot of problem. It takes a lot of time and it is a real bothering. And the last is the variation of the lenses. We don't have too many different lenses because Canon doesn't allow to the third party to produce the different lenses. So we got limited RF lenses right now in the market, and they are so expensive. But for me, I think having some of those lenses works very well. Still, I call it a very professional camera considering all these disadvantages that I told you. The second camera that I want to talk about is my Fuji X-H2S camera, released in 2022. It's somehow actually new. And this is the half-frame camera, and when it released in the market, it wowed many people because it got a stack sensor in it. With the price of this camera, is kind of a rate. It costs only $2,500 camera, and with different formats, especially in videography, actually it works perfectly. So if your priority is videography, then go for it. It got a kind of a cinematic touch inside it. It got a different profiles in it. It records and it supports 6K open gate. This is kind of a very perfect and fantastic actually job what this camera does. And it got a 4K 60 frames without crop. So this is another good advantage of this camera. Me personally, I haven't actually experienced any overheating with this camera. It got 2 SD cards, and this is very ideal camera in videography. I'm going to tell you about somehow, disadvantages in photography maybe. But talking about the variation of the lenses, then it's good. It got a different variation of the lenses, affordable, and so far I haven't faced with any problem finding the special lens matching with this camera. And talking about the disadvantages, what I really maybe don't like about this camera, and this is personal, this is my personal taste, is the quality of the image quality in photography is not that real. And it is because of all those vintage touches or maybe cinematic touches of the photos or the profiles that it got. So it doesn't satisfy me. It's not that sharp that I can, for example, take the photos with Canon, or it's not that real. So it's got a kind of a texture inside the photos, which I actually don't like. But maybe some people like it. I don't know. That's kind of a personal, I think, touch. But this is good, especially, I said, for those who got the priority in videography. My only issue is in photography, which I really don't like that textured photos, because I have my Canon and I'm so happy with that. And the last camera that I want to talk about is Sony a6700 that I have. This is the newest camera, which is released in 2023 by Sony. This is a half-frame camera, very light, so for very simple projects, you can just have it and go with it. There are some advantages about this camera, which I really like it, especially autofocusing. It got the newest AI autofocusing system inside it, so considering the objects, it got a different variation to focus, to realize and distinguish the things. So this is one of the good actually advantages of this camera, which I really like it. Other thing is about the variation of the lenses. Because it's a half frame, I've got a lot of different choices to choose different lenses, and they're also so light, small. So the pack at the set with the camera and the lens gonna be so light to carry. So this is one of the good, I think, point about having this camera. Got a lot of different formats that a kind of a professional camera got it. We got it in this camera, so that's a kind of a wow for this price of the camera, which is only $1,400 having those different formats. So these are the advantages of this Sony. And now let me talk about the disadvantages of this camera. For me, the most important is SD card. It has only one SD card, which is not sufficient actually. If you got a kind of a longer project to record, then you're gonna face with a big problem with one SD card inside it. And the second is overheating. Overheating is still, I am trying to solve it, but still I am kind of a big challenge with the overheating in this camera. And the last is the image quality in videography or the photo, especially in videography. Working with the Sony means you have to put much more effort in post-production to adjust the colors or maybe the light. So maybe it's not what you expect actually from this camera. So these are the disadvantages about this camera. But at the end, considering the price, considering all the formats that this camera got it, that's a kind of a ideal camera or the gear for those who are maybe blogger or want to use it in somehow simple projects. And at the end, let's get the conclusion. If your concern and priority is photography, then go for Canon R5. Canon R5 is the best. With the combination of RF lenses, then you're gonna have the very magical touches in the image quality with the Canon R5, especially in portrait or nature photography. If you wanted that sharpness, detail, everything is so great. But if your concern is videography or you like to have more professional videos, then maybe this Fuji X-H2S is gonna be very ideal for you considering the price it has and all different formats it supports. But if you got a low budget and still you want to have something professional with many different variations of the formats in videography, special or photography, then this Sony a6700 is gonna be very ideal camera for you with a very different variation of the lenses. Now, if I want to answer to that friend who asked me if I want to choose among these sets, which one I'm gonna use. Well, first of all, I have to tell you, having the different brands or the sets is kind of a got a good advantage for you. But also it has a very big disadvantage because I have to invest a lot to buy different lenses. I cannot match the lenses together. So this is one of the disadvantages to have many different sets with different brands. But if I want to choose one of them, definitely I'm gonna go with Canon R5. That is one of my favorite actually camera with a combination of the RF lenses that I've got. So because I have a high-end PC, so I don't have any problem in post-production or editing my videos, and I'm very happy and satisfied with the image quality in Canon R5. I'm emphasizing on it because I have tried many different gears or even in Canon. Anyhow, right now I'm looking for where to buy another set. I'm thinking between Nikon or Panasonic. Here I need your suggestion. Please write your opinion in the comment and help me to choose between Nikon or Panasonic. And you know that my concern is image quality. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to leave me the comments about my actual issue. And until my next video, see you later.